This is Flex Sister Monina. Today we will be doing a flow inspired by warrior poses in yoga. We'll be combining poses like Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3, Humble Warrior, a few balancing, and a few folding postures into our flow. You can warm up by doing a few rounds of sun salutations, or you can join me in my Flow for Fitness video where we'll be doing few rounds of sun salutations A or Surya Namaskara A. All you need for this practice is a mat, a few blocks, your towel, and of course your bottle of water. So whenever you're ready, join me on the mat. Today we'll be prioritizing stability. You will transition through poses slowly, with patience and the breath as our guide. You will do 3 sequences and then cool down. So let's start at the top of our mats in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take deep breaths in and out through the nose to ground and energize the body. Send energy to the feet and the fingertips. And note that this is your practice, so take as many breaths and moments as you need within and in between poses. And let's bring the palms in front of the chest and place our awareness on the feet. Rocking forward and back to balance on the balls and heels, familiarizing ourselves with these wonderful parts. Let's also warm up the knees by taking gentle bends, akin to sitting down or taking gentle squats. You may lower at each instance. Then feel free to move the hips around, familiarizing ourselves with our center. And once you found it, let's stand upright with the feet hip-width distance apart or together or at whatever stance. Choose the one that works for you. And whenever you found it, very gently and slowly bend the knees. Take your forward fold with the belly lightly grazing over the thighs, sending the hips up. Let's try to cultivate patience for today's practice by being aware of where we are at the present moment, without affixing our minds to any particular outcome. You can take a gentle halfway lift, tenting the fingertips or planting them. You may also pedal the feet. I invite you to take any movements here to release any tensions in the hamstrings, in the legs, or even in the spine. Then with mindfulness, release, keep your stance strong and firm, belly not collapsing over the thighs. Interlace the fingers behind and roll the shoulders as you pull back. Then let's fold forward, slightly engaging the core as you hover the belly over the thighs. Maybe pointing the fingertips up and behind. Then let's slowly rise. And release. Lower all the way down in a low squat, keeping your stance. Let's heel toe the feet away to your malasana or garland pose, shifting the weight from side to side to open the hips and the knees. Heel toe the feet back and take your halfway lift. We will be starting our flow with chair pose, so take the time to find your stance. You may bring the feet away or together. Imagine that you are sitting on an imaginary chair. So fold forward and send the bum back. And as you curl, you can take the arms back. Find engagement from the core to lift slowly as you sweep the arms forward and upwards. You may take one full breath in this transition to your chair. Keep the spine neutral, elevate the shoulders, and you can gaze in between the thumbs. Imagine that you are hovering on an imaginary chair and that there's a balloon in between the belly and the thighs. So engage your core, find stability here for a couple of breaths. Slowly bring the hands in front of the chest and let's stand up. Lift the right knee forward as if you're taking a high step. Find balance here. And with control, swing the right leg back as you tilt the torso forward in your Warrior 3, Veerabhadrasana 3. Since we are balancing on one leg, find engagement and seek adjustment to stabilize the body. For me, I find that hugging the thighs in and microbending the standing leg offer me balance. You may also use blocks here. Slowly bend the standing leg and step the right foot down to take your high lunge. Feel free to adjust your stance depending on what's accessible and stable at the moment. From here, slightly open towards the right side as you pivot and step the right heel on the mat. Take your Warrior 1, Veerabhadrasana 1. The toes of the right foot are facing at an angle. Slowly release the arms and clasp them behind you. You can roll the shoulders, maybe access a gentle heart opener here, and gaze towards the sky. Then we will gently fold towards the inside of the left knee with control. This is our humble warrior. So let's stay stable here with the torso slightly hovering and not collapsing over the left thigh. You may also point the fingertips towards the sky. With control, lift up to your Warrior 1, sweeping the arms forward and up. Release the back heel, arms in prayer to your high lunge. Preparing to sweep the back leg forward this time to the same place where we started in our high step. And release. Take your Tadasana and catch the breath. Prepare for the other side. Let's fold forward, preparing for chair. Utkatasana. Slowly sweep the arms and lift with control. Don't forget to breathe. Elevate the shoulders. Maybe you can sink lower each time you exhale. Let's bring the hands in prayer as we stand upright, this time lifting the left leg and hovering it over an imaginary chair in front of us. Slide the front leg to your Warrior 3, Veerabhadrasana 3. Find stability through the breath and by energizing the legs. And remember that the back leg does not have to be high. Your body does not have to be in one perfect line. Just find your balance and stability. Find power. And most importantly, cultivate patience and compassion towards yourself as you take any pose. Release, step the back foot, take your lunge. Send energy to the fingertips and to the toes. Release the arms and slightly spin the back leg. Let's take our Warrior 1. You may sweep the arms forward and up to channel the energy towards the sky. So you can imagine that you are a strong and mighty warrior and you are wielding a sword with your hands. And release. Take the hands back and clasp the fingertips, lift the heart. Slowly and with control, fold to your humble warrior. Prioritize your stability here. Float up to your warrior one. Release the back heel, take your high lunge. Preparing to step forward, holding our front leg up. And release. I invite you to release the toes, shift forward and back, side to side. Give your feet a quick break before we start the next sequence. Back to our Tadasana, we lower down in preparation once again for chair. So let's take our chair pose, Utkatasana, keeping that imaginary chair and balloon in mind. With control, lower the hands in prayer. Let's take a breath here. Inhale to puff up the chest. Exhale, take a twist towards the right. You may hook the left elbow on the right knee or allow it to hover. Energize the legs and maintain the space in between the belly and the thighs. Slowly gaze downwards towards the right foot. We will balance here. Take the left foot up with control and hug the knees together to balance. Slowly reach the left foot backwards and stay in this twisted warrior three. Staying strong and stable. Gently step the back foot, maintaining that twist. Gaze upwards if it helps. We are in our twisted lunge. Slowly gaze downwards and plant the hands. Let's take our runner's lunge here for relief and rest, preparing for our pyramid pose. Slowly shift the hips back and up and stretch the back of the right leg. No need to keep them straight. You may flex or point the front foot. Keep the spine long and the hips square. Back to our runner's lunge. Slowly spin the heel of the left foot inwards so that the hips are opening now towards the left side of the mat. Gather strength from the quads and the core to lift and windmill the hands up to your warrior two, Veerabhadrasana 2. Roll the shoulders with the palms faced up. Spin both palms inwards. Feel free to adjust your stance and foot placement here to find stability. You can also imagine that you are shooting energy from your fingertips, so you can gaze towards the front hand. Let's take our reverse warrior. Gently place the left hand towards the outside of the left thigh. Reach your right hand up, bending towards the left, keeping the spine long and the legs strong. Let's take our extended side angle. So with control, bring the right forearm over the knee or the thigh and lift the left arm overhead. Find space by pushing against the right shoulder. Slowly gaze towards the mat. Plant the hands. Take your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can catch the breath here. Feel free to take other restorative postures as you wish. Now let's do everything on the other side. Step forward and prepare for Utkatasana or chair pose. If you wish to pedal the feet, feel free to do so. Finding release before we start once again. And whenever you're ready, take your chair pose. Reaching the hands up, elevating the shoulders. You may also gaze towards the thumbs. Hands in prayer, taking a breath here. Inhale, puffing the chest. Exhale, twisting towards the left side. Keeping the back neutral and not arching, the belly away from the thighs. From here, let's gaze towards the left foot this time and lift the right. Balancing and breathing. Magnetizing the knees. Carefully reach the right leg backwards into your twisted warrior 3. Slowly step the back foot and take your twisted lunge. You may also gaze towards the sky or elbow here. Now let's bring the gaze towards the mat, taking the runner's lunge. Feel free to adjust your stance, shortening or lengthening depending on your range. And then sliding back to our Parshvottanasana, pyramid pose, just to give our leg a stretch. Allow any tension to release. Give yourself a break. Preparing this time for warrior 2, let's shift forward to our runner's lunge and spin the back heel as we cartwheel the arms up, lengthening and neutralizing the spine and powering through with the legs. Sword in our left hand. Take your reverse warrior. No need to lengthen all the way to the back so much. What's important here is to keep the legs stable. Extended side angle. Our goal here is to lengthen the body and release tension on the side body. You can push against the knee and gaze upwards. And let's take our downward facing dog. Let's do our last sequence. Step forward, take our halfway lift. Again, feel free to release any tension in the legs by rocking or shifting side to side, forward and back. Let's step the right foot towards the back this time and allow the toes of both feet to face the long edge of the mat. We'll take a wide-legged forward fold here, so take your time to find a comfortable stance and foot placement. You may slightly turn in the toes too if that feels better. Whenever you're ready, inhale, gaze forward and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold through the hips. Feel free to deepen your fold or release as necessary. This is a good way to stretch our hamstrings and at the same time lengthen the spine. Release, inhale and gaze forward, and as you exhale, bring the toes out or pivot both heels inwards. Inhale, let's lift both hands to our 5-pointed star. You may keep the arms this high or in line with each other. Try to explore which variation works best for your balance. Release, let's take the hands back in prayer and bend the knees as we take our goddess squat or Devyasana. So our goal here is to keep the legs strong and open the hips. We can imagine that there is power and energy from the earth that's flowing through our feet, legs, and is being stored in our pelvic region. Release and let's heel toe the feet closer. Squat lower to our Malasana or yogic squat. Feel free to shift from side to side, releasing tension, pent-up energy in the hips and in the groin area. Then let's extend the left leg out to our side lunge. Option to balance on the balls of the right foot or plant the foot. Choose your adventure. Now let's do the other side, slowly shifting the weight towards the left foot. Again, choose your adventure. Let go, and let's orient ourselves towards the front of the mat, taking our low lunge and stepping back. With control, lowering the body vertebra by vertebra, hips, belly, chest, and head. Relax the arms. Take rest here in our prone position, cooling down and catching the breath. Let's stretch our quads, so bring both feet up, bending by the knees, catching the feet with the hands. Prioritizing the stretch in the quads, nothing active, nothing intense. Gently bring the chest up. Allow the feet to push against the hands. No need to lift the knees here. Keep them low to keep the stretch going. And take your time. Patience is our friend. Gently and softly release the legs and rest here. You can bring both forearms in front of the forehead or leave them by the sides. Recover from this pose and find your way to child's pose. Otherwise, you are free to lie down and take your Shavasana. Feel free to stay for as long as you like. Thank you for joining me in today's practice. The warrior in me honors the warrior in you. Namaste.